Okay, everybody, my name is Lowell, and welcome to the channel. So we have a reaction video for us today. This is going to be from the YouTube channel Top 5. This is going to be 15 most expensive homes in the United States. Let's jump in. Let's have a look at this one.
There are around 142 million homes in the United States.
Damn.
At an average cost of about $375,000. They're available in a wide range of shapes, sizes, and prices. But if you're super rich, some of the homes you can buy are totally amazing. Let's take a look at the 15 most expensive homes in the United States. Number 15. Kim Kardashian's Hidden Hills house, California, $75 million. Hidden Hills in California is a gated community that's home to a number of celebrities. It's popular because it's a great place for privacy, to keep away from prying eyes, even though the largest property there is owned by one of the most visible and famous people on Earth. In 2014, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West bought a home there for a reported $20 million. But the work they've done on it since has seen its value skyrocket to an estimated $75 million, which has made it one of the most expensive
75 million. Yikes.
residential sites in the country. Described by the couple before they divorced as having a futuristic Belgian monastery feel to it thanks to the assistance of a Belgian architect in realizing their dreams, the home has countless bedrooms as well as a fully
It's very
fitted
white. Very almost stark, isn't it? Very, very white. Okay.
gym, several swimming pools,
Wow.
plenty of entertainment
Wow, that's a
spaces,
big
2
pool.
kitchens, and even its own walk-in refrigerator. No matter what your thoughts of the couple are, there's no doubt that they've crafted a stunning home together, and if she ever decides
Wow.
to sell it, it'll probably sell for far more than it's currently worth.
Holy.
Number 14, Jay-Z and Beyonce's home, Bel Air, $88 million. Jay-Z and Beyonce reportedly spent years in search of the ideal home for themselves, something that you would have thought would have been too difficult when they apparently had a budget of $80 million. In 2017, though, the search came to an end when they purchased a sprawling contemporary-style mansion in Bel Air that had been on the market for $120 million. But they managed to whittle it down to $88 million, a price that set a record for the highest-selling transaction in all
Wait, from 120 to 88. Wow, that is some discount. Holy moly.
of Los Angeles
Wow.
County in that year. Sat on a 1.8-acre plot, the mansion has 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, bulletproof windows, a 15-car garage, and even a separate area with accommodation for staff. It also features 4 swimming pools, a basketball court, plenty of other entertainment options, and there are up to 6 buildings on the site in total that give a total floor space of 30,000 square feet, or about 2,800 square meters. Hidden behind huge iron gates, the recently built house has smart technology throughout, even allowing the glass walls to open at the touch of a button. Amazingly, the couple chose to carry out significant works before they moved in, at a cost of $750,000, which included adding extra space beneath one of the pools and the installation of a backup generator. When they bought the house, they paid $30 million in cash and apparently took out a mortgage of $53 million.
Wow.
If that was taken over a 30-year loan, it means their payments total around $250,000 a month. Number 13, the Playboy Mansion, California, $100 million. It's probably one of the most famous houses in the world because of its former owner and the countless parties that took place there. And now, the Playboy Mansion is one of the most valuable properties in the whole United States. Playboy founder Hugh Hefner bought the mansion in 1974 and lived there until his death in 2017, having hosted the who's who of world celebrities during that time.
Man, if those walls could talk, holy moly.
The mansion itself has a floor area of 21,000 square feet, or about 2,000 square meters, and has a total of 29 rooms. That includes a wine cellar that's hidden behind a Prohibition-era secret door, a screening room with a pipe organ, a games room, 3 zoo buildings, a tennis and a basketball court, and of course the famous swimming pool with artificial waterfall and barbecue area. In the grounds, there's also a large koi pond with a man-made stream, a citrus orchard, and 2 fern and redwood forests. Rather than being purchased from Hefner as a full-time home, the Playboy Mansion is now owned by Darren Mitropoulos, the son of the billionaire Greek investor, and it's now used for corporate events as well as acting as a location for television shows, magazine shoots, and charity functions. Number 12, Xanadu 2.0, Washington, $147 million. Bill Gates was for a long time the richest man in the world, so it makes sense that his custom-designed home remains one of the most valuable in the whole country. Known as Xanadu 2.0, it sits on a pristine lakeside plot next to Lake Washington in Medina,
It
Washington.
looks like a bloody resort. Look at the size of it. That's ridiculous. 147.
And it's estimated to be worth in the region of $147 million. He's known
Dang.
to be very private and careful about information leaking to the outside world about the property. But the few details that have been revealed over the years describe it as being an almost fully automated, futuristic, and relaxing place with virtually every feature and amenity you could imagine. With approximately 66,000 square feet, or 6,100
Wow.
square meters of floor space, it has 7 main bedrooms, 19 bathrooms, and a 1,000 square foot or 93 square
Wait. 7 bedrooms, but 19 bathrooms? How the hell does that work out? That's okay.
meter
Okay.
dining room for large functions. Built with a Pacific Lodge-style aesthetic, it's said that 500,000 board feet of timber from 500-year-old Douglas fir trees were used in its construction. And of
Dang.
the 300 workers who were hired to build it, 100 were electricians. Technology
Wow.
is, of course, central to Xanadu 2.0. The house monitors every person's movements throughout to adapt conditions to their preferred levels, and it even monitors the moisture levels in the soil around Gates's favorite plants to ensure they're watered when they need to be. Other unusual extras include a trampoline room with a 20-foot or 6-meter high ceiling, 6 kitchens, and a dedicated library house that's used to keep Gates' impressive literature collection, which includes a manuscript by Leonardo da Vinci that he paid $30 million for in 1994. Number 11, 924 Bel Air Road, California, $150 million. Bel Air Road in
Wow.
California is lined with countless impressive buildings and mansions, but it's the one at number 924 that stands out above the rest. Appropriately named Billionaire, the $150 million home sits on a plot that Judy Garland used to live in, but the house that stands there now was only built in the last decade. Offering
There's a
38,000
freaking helicopter. So who lived there? They didn't tell us. 150 million. Wow.
square feet or 3,500 square meters of floor space that's split across 4 levels. The mansion boasts 2 master bedrooms, 10 large guest suites, and 21 bathrooms that are decorated with Italian marble. Further to these are 5 bars, 3
Oh my
kitchens, and 3
God.
dining areas, making it the ideal place to entertain guests. And there's a fitness center, a 4-lane bowling alley, a glass pool table that cost $12,000 to make, and a 360-inch TV set, all thought to be the largest in the world that's installed in a residential setting. There's also 2 theater spaces, a huge glass infinity swimming pool, a $30 million auto garage, a helipad, and because of its location, stunning views across LA County. The owners benefit too from 2 wine cellars, millions of dollars worth of artworks, and a room where there's more than $200,000 worth of candy dispensers built into the walls. Originally, the developers wanted to sell the
Bloody
home
hell.
for double what they eventually got for it, but it still represents what's possible when budget is of absolutely no concern whatsoever.
So who owns it? They didn't say. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. God.
Number 10, 7 The Pinnacle,
Wow.
Montana, $155 million. Set deep within the mountains of
Wow.
Montana, 7 The Pinnacle is a reported $155 million home that, despite its price, has managed to be kept highly secret by its owners. That's because it's the most valuable property within the exclusive Yellowstone Club, which is a private ski and golf community that has at times counted Bill Gates and Justin Timberlake as owners, and is somewhere that outsiders have absolutely zero chance of getting anywhere near. The exterior shows a beautiful lodge-like design, and its surroundings can either be covered in snow or lush greenery, depending on the time of year. Each floor is said to be individually heated. The home has an indoor-outdoor pool, a gym, a wine cellar, and just in case the owners want to be able to enjoy their vacation in peace and quiet, it also has its very own private ski lift, meaning they don't have to share with any of the other wealthy residents of their neighborhood. The mansion truly is a glimpse into how the billionaires of the world live, and a place that very few of us could ever dream of gaining access
You
to.
probably wouldn't even visit all the rooms in that house. That's so many rooms. Oh my God.
Number 9. Spelling Manor, California.
Oh, is that,
$160
what's his
million.
name?
The Spelling Manor, which is now more commonly known as simply the Manor, was built by TV producer Aaron Spelling in 1988 and is opposite Holmby Park in the Holmby Hills neighborhood of LA. Recently, it was listed on the market for $160 million, and even though it finally sold to Canadian billionaire Daryl Katz for $40 million less than that, it's easily one of the most valuable properties in the whole of the United States. Beyond having a simply stunning location, the 55,000 square foot or 5,200 square meter mansion was built in the style of a traditional French chateau and boasts an astonishing 123 rooms, of which 27 are bathrooms and 14 are bedrooms. It's surrounded by 5 acres of land.
27 bathrooms. Oh my God. I am not cleaning 27 bloody bathrooms.
And features a beauty salon, custom-designed theater, a nightclub, a bar, and a 2-lane bowling alley. Furthermore, there's a kitchen that's larger than most Californians' homes, a motor court with space for 100 cars, a solarium, a wine cellar, a gym, and 2 tanning rooms. It's undoubtedly a home that's designed to entertain, with a formal dining room and a grand ballroom. And as a result, it currently holds the record for being the largest house in Los Angeles County.
Dang.
Number 8. The Jack Warner Estate, California, $165 million. Jack Warner was one of the founders and head mogul of the Warner Brothers movie studio, and in 1937 he bought a 9-acre plot of land in Beverly Hills that he went on to develop into what is now known as the Jack Warner Estate.
Is that owned by Jeff Bezos? Is that who owns it now?
It was recently sold in 2020 for $165 million to none other than the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, which cemented it as the most expensive home to ever be sold in LA. The mansion itself was built in a Greek style with a traditional Greek porch at the front and offers 13,000 square feet or 1,200 square meters of interior living space. Described in 1992 by Architectural Digest as the archetypal studio mogul's estate, it has 8 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and reportedly has a floor that was once owned by Napoleon. As you'd expect, there's also a screening room, a bar, and a huge dining room. And following tens of millions of dollars in investment in recent years, the gardens are fully landscaped, and there's also 2 outdoor pools, 2 guest houses, a tennis court, and a 9-hole golf course. Interestingly, Bezos has also purchased a neighboring house that shares the side hedge with the Jack Warner Estate, which could potentially be a sign that he's looking at creating a much larger compound, and one that could one day easily become one of the most valuable properties on Earth.
Wow, look at it. It just takes up that whole space. I think he also, I was reading that's the tallest residential hedge in the world as well.
Number 7, Palazzo di Amore, California, $195 million. Listed in 2014 for $195 million, the extravagant Palazzo di Amore, which is in Beverly Hills in California, could become the most expensive residential complex in the United States if the owners ever able to find a buyer for it. Originally purchased for $35 million by a real estate developer, but having subsequently been completely reimagined and redesigned at a cost of many tens of millions of dollars, it's now one of the most modern homes in the country. With an internal space of 53,000 square feet, or almost 5,000 square meters, it has 12 bedrooms, with the master bedroom alone being 5,000 square feet, or 460 square meters. The Love Palace also has a huge dedicated entertainment center, which features a bowling alley, a 50-seat movie theater, and a nightclub, along with a 24-car garage. It also has its very own on-site vineyard, an infinity pool that can accommodate 150 people, a tennis court, and plenty of additional accommodation for the staff. Surrounded by 25 acres of landscaped gardens, it's one of the most beautiful properties in the United States. And with views out across the city and the ocean, whoever ultimately ends up buying it will surely be the envy of all their neighbors. Number 6, Ellison Estate, California, $200 million. Larry Ellison made his fortune because of the success of his company, Oracle, and he's famously gone on to build up a huge property empire around the world. As well as owning almost an entire island in Hawaii,
Wow.
his biggest investment was a plot in Woodside, California, and it's now valued in excess of $200 million. Modeled after a 16th century Japanese emperor's palace, the 24-acre site has a number of buildings, with the main house having around 8,000 square feet, or 743 square meters of floor space. There's also 2 guest cottages and a boat dock that separated the guest side from the private side, around a man-made 2.5-acre lake. And the construction project to make it look this way apparently involved importing more than 5,000 tons of rocks for the landscaping, and the installation of a waterfall that can be turned on or off with the flick of a switch.
Dang.
Notoriously private, Ellison had ensured the full details of this incredible estate have remained under wraps, so it's not entirely clear how full of amenities this property is. One thing's for sure, though, and that it's undoubtedly one of the most luxurious and secluded residences in all of California.
200 million.
Number 5. Casa Encantada, California, $225 million. The Casa Encantada, which is on Bellagio Road in Bel Air, California, is truly a unique
Man,
home.
California has a lot of bloody expensive houses. That's ridiculous. 225 million.
That was built in the late 1930s, and were it to be sold today, is thought to be worth around $225 million, 175 of which is solely made up of the value of the 9.5 acres of land that it's built on. Unusually for people who were building homes in the area at that time, the woman behind it wasn't a member of the movie industry, and was instead from a wealthy family. This meant that its design was very different, but she used up her entire family fortune on it, and was
Dang.
forced to sell it in 1950 to Conrad Hilton, the founder of the hotel chain. Hidden from the street by mature trees, the main house has 30,000 square feet, or about 2,700 square meters of interior space, which is designed in an H shape. Guests are greeted by a huge Italian fountain in the main courtyard, before entering the grand foyer with a circular staircase that leads to the upper levels. And there are several other guest houses located elsewhere on site, with badminton and tennis courts, as well as swimming pools and galleries for spectators. The Casa Encantada has been preserved as much as possible from its original conception, and this is partly what has made it such a special place over the past 80 years.
So, is the golf course part of that, or is that just coincidence?
Number
Interesting.
4, 220 Central Park South Penthouse, New York, $238 million. New York
Wow.
is one of the most famous cities on earth thanks to being a financial and entertainment center, and this has resulted in it also being one of the most in-demand cities to live in worldwide. With space being at a premium, it's rare to find an apartment with much space, and those that have the best views can command huge sums of money. The current record breaker in the city, however, can be found in a new residential skyscraper called 220 Central Park South that opened in 2018. As the name would suggest, it's on Billionaires Row between Broadway and 7th Avenue, which is one of the most sought-after addresses of all. Made up of 118 apartments, billionaire hedge fund manager Kenneth C. Griffin purchased 4 floors of the building to turn into a single penthouse home for a price
4 floors. 4 whole floors.
of $238 million, making it by far the most expensive home to ever be sold in the U.S., something that's all the more amazing considering it's officially valued at just $9.4 million.
Oh.
Very little is known about how he's since developed the floors, but you can expect there to be all the latest amenities available to make the best use of the space, and the amazing sights outside of the full-length windows.
4 floors. Bloody
Number
hell.
3, 4 Fairfield Pond, New York, $248 million. Trader Ira Rennert has been building his ideal home in the Hamptons since the 1990s, and while it's never been offered for sale before, it'll surely break the record for the most expensive house in the U.S., if it ever is.
Wow.
Built on a 63-acre plot of land, the full specs of the home aren't publicly available, but it's believed that there's been so much development that within the main house itself, you could measure the living space in terms of acres instead of square feet or meters. It's thought that there were between 21 and 29
God,
bedrooms,
look at the footprint of it. It just looks massive.
along with
29
between
bedrooms.
18 and 39 bathrooms, 12 chimneys, and a dining room that's 91 feet, or almost 30 meters long. Beyond the main home, there's at least 2 further guest houses with a billiards room, 2 tennis courts, and 2 squash courts, along with a gigantic 164-seat movie theater, a 100-car garage, and a $150,000 hot tub. Astonishingly, the property taxes he has to pay for this development are around $650,000, which in most other places around the United States would be enough to buy 2 average houses outright. Number 2. Mesa Vista Ranch, Texas, $250 million. The famous Texan oil prospector and investor T. Boone Pickens first bought the 2,900 acres of pristine Texan land in 1971, when at the time the only development was a small corrugated metal house. In the decades since, however, he's transformed the site into the Mesa Vista Ranch, which now covers 64,000 acres, with a number of large structures that include the 33,000 square foot or 3,000 square meter lodge, the 12,000 square foot or 1,100 square meter lake house, and the 11,000 square foot or 1,000 square meter kennel. His childhood home can even be found there, something that was made possible after he bought it and paid for it to be transported there. This extravagance isn't limited to the properties themselves.
Imagine that, buying your childhood home and then moving it to your new house. Your whole house.
There's also 12 miles or almost 20 kilometers of artificial waterways, which include man-made waterfalls, creeks, and lakes, and even has its very own FAA-approved airport, where the hangar has a 2-bedroom and 2-bathroom apartment for use by the pilots. Following his death, the site had been put on the market for $250 million. But recently, the asking price has since dropped to around $220 million. Still, there aren't all that many people in the world who can afford a place like this, so it could well be a long time until a buyer is finally found.
Dang.
Number 1. The One, California, $295 million. With a whopping 105,000 square feet, or 9,700 square meters of floor space, the One in Bel Air, California, holds the record for being both the largest and the most expensive home in the U.S. Initially hoped to sell for $500 million, it recently sold for far less than that. But this doesn't take away from just how extraordinary the place is, and shows that the appetite for ultra-modern luxury homes is only increasing. Taking 10 years to build, the One has 21 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms, 7 half-bathrooms, and some absolutely incredible views across Los Angeles.
42 bathrooms? What? Who needs 42 bathrooms? Surely.
The giant dining room has its own 10,000-bottle wine cellar. There's a full-service beauty salon and wellness spa, and the entertainment center has everything you'd expect, from pool tables to a bowling alley to giant TV screens and a lounge area. There's also a bar with a cigar lounge, a private nightclub, a luxurious screening room, and a 2-story library. And for the children among us, the mansion has its very own candy bar. There are 5 swimming pools around the property, 3 of which are outdoors. There's a juice bar, a separate guest house, a jogging track, a tennis court, and private putting green. Just to finish things off, the One has a 30-car garage, 6 elevators, and its very own water-filled moat around it, making you wonder whether if you moved into this place, you'd have any need to set foot outside ever again.
Oh my God.
Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all.
Well, that was interesting. Kind of ridiculous prices, you know, ridiculous sizes, 42 bathrooms. Seriously, who's going to need 42 bathrooms? I don't know what kind of parties you're having, but if you're needing 42 bathrooms, too many people for a start. It kind of makes Jay-Z's and Beyonce's house look pretty poor, actually. But yeah, some of those prices, you know, even the starting price, you know, 70 million, 75 million, whatever, you know, ridiculous prices that we're never going to see and we're never going to buy, but probably for a good thing. I don't know if I'd want to live in a house where it's so big with 29 bathrooms and, you know, we've got 1.5 bathrooms here, and, you know, it's like, that's enough. That's enough to clean every week and whatever else. Nice to have a look at. I kind of like the log cabin look than the California sleek, you know, modern looking houses. I don't know if they've got enough character. I like the log cabin. I like the one in Montana. Obviously, you know, love that one. Especially, you know, you get the snow and whatever else year round. Maybe on the slightly smaller scale, maybe not 30 bathrooms, maybe 2, maybe if you're looking at it. But yeah, some of those prices, some of the houses, some of the facilities in it, you know. But you look at some of the owners of these houses, you know, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. These prices are just a drop in the ocean for them. You know, that's nothing for them. You know, 200 million when you've got $300 billion. You know, who cares? Yeah, some of them are very interesting. They're nice to look at. I must admit, you know, curiosity and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, on a practical scale, I don't know. I don't think I would live there, even if I had the money. So, you know, as I said, you know, practicality goes out the window. So, but let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if you had one that you would live in yourself. I would, as I said, I would probably tend to go for the log cabin look. I kind of really like that look. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Make sure you stay safe, and I will definitely see you in the next reaction video. Oh, you're still here? You want more content? Why don't you check out my Patreon down here? You'll get plenty more content and some exclusive videos over there too. If not, why not check out this one over here?